Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene.com. I'm standing here with Mark Lago, the founder, creator, and runner of GR8Bit Live. Mark, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Doing great. Glad to be here.
If you're wondering why there's this massive empty space behind us, because we're at the DeVos Hall right now, and this is where GR8Bit Live is going to be taking place on July 11th. Mark, can you tell us about the event?
Yeah, GR8Bit Live is a charity gamer convention / video game music concert, and we're trying to raise money for the purchase of new games for the kids at the local children's hospital, the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. So,
All right. Well, how did this event come about? I already know the answer, but the folks out there watching probably don't.
yeah, well, there's a brief paragraph on GR8BitLive.com that kind of goes over this as well. But the backstory is that I'm a middle and high school band director, and I've had a number of students through the years who have had cancer and have had stays down at the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. And one student in particular, a number of years ago, I was talking with him about how he was spending his time down there, and he said he liked to play a lot of video games and board games and stuff, but he did mention that there were a couple times when all the games were spoken for and he wasn't able to play. And I thought, well, I play bass guitar in a video game cover band, which it's really hard to find gigs as a video game cover band. Oddly enough, you know, who wouldn't want that? But
I don't know.
I know.
Someone please explain that to
Right,
me.
exactly.
That's like the sweetest idea ever.
But so I just thought, you know, that's one thing my band could actually do. Like, we could put on a charity concert to buy new video games for the kids at the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. So that's how it started, and we did our first 2 years at MIGeekScene, which is an awesome venue. They were great to work with.
Actually, yes, it is.
And we brought in some amazing bands for that too. Bit Brigade, X Hunters. Both of them were amazing, and we had others that were amazing as well. But they'll be joining us again this year, so we'll talk about them more later. But
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
But what's the name of your band, sir?
My band is called Playing with Power, and I shouldn't need that to explain that to this audience. So it's Playing with Power.
There are some, yes, yeah, the phrase itself,
Yes.
but not necessarily the band. Like, who is he?
Yeah. And it's a literal name too, because we're not acoustic or anything. So it's, you know, it's literal. But
Fair enough. How did the first two events go?
great. The first one was a huge learning experience. We, set a price point and targeted a certain audience and brought in a few less than we were hoping for, but it was still enough to warrant doing it a second year. And we learned a lot from the first year to the second year, and wound up almost doubling our attendance. And both years it was just a video game music concert. So that led us to this year where we are. So, which I should say is, as I said at the beginning, it's a gamer convention / video game music concert. So that's why we're here, because we're going to be using this space for lots of tabletop gaming, video gaming, and the video game music concerts are going to be alive and well too.
Are there going to be vendors here?
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of vendors. Some amazing stuff will be available for purchase. We're featuring on our Facebook page different vendors, different games, different concerts, bands each week, and you can see some of the vendors that we're featuring there on our Facebook page, GR8Bit Live. But like one in particular that comes to mind, we have one coming from Seattle. Her name's Nikki Nagebauer, and she does some amazing art, video game inspired art. We have Justine Dillenbeck, who's going to be doing, she has some awesome woodburn art that you have to see to believe. I actually commissioned her when I graduated from finished grad school. I commissioned her to do a scene from Transformers the movie, the cartoon. So I've got an Optimus Prime woodburn at home, and it's amazing. And
Actually, I did see that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So she's great, and so we'll have, and I mean that's just a brief taste. Vaults of Midnight will be here selling board games. There will be video game vendors. There's a lot to see in the vendor hall. So
Okay. Before we get to the bands, and this is a very important point that people should know, how much is it going to cost to attend this event?
$0. It's free. So we did a Kickstarter.
I don't want to go to a free show.
I know, who wouldn't? So, but we did a Kickstarter to raise all the funds, and that covered all of our expenses for renting out this place and for helping bands for their travel fees and everything. so we raised all the funds. So we thought, let's just do it kind of like the museums do in bigger cities, where it's a suggested donation when you walk in. So we're going to have a table where you can donate to the Children's Hospital for the purchase of new games when you walk in. But other than that, there is no admission fee. And people who contributed to the Kickstarter, we wanted to make it clear to them, and I want to reiterate right now that if you did back the Kickstarter, I don't want you to feel, like this guy, I don't want you to feel like you have to donate on your way in. You already kind of did your part by helping to put this event on. But yeah, so donations on the way in, and that's it. No fee.
I was surprised when Kickstarter allowed shekels and rubles
Yeah.
for a donation, because I threw 3 rubles your way.
Yeah. I wanted it to be rupees, but they didn't, from Zelda. But
I didn't want to smash my pots around the house.
yeah.
Because that seems, or cut grass, because those seem to be the only 2 ways, or besides defeating enemies, to get rupees.
Yeah, my wife, she's endlessly patient if she watches me play Zelda, because I'm just running around cutting grass all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's fun. I'm like, well, I don't like to mow the lawn at home, but
Like I said, I don't either.
I like doing it in the game when I get rupees.
Best way to do it is to dash through it, not just run and swat. All right, back to the bands.
Yeah.
From reading the website, 7 bands, including Playing with Power.
Yeah.
Can we go over each and every one of them?
Sure. All right. I'll try and do it without messing up here. So coming from Grand Rapids, we have Playing with Power. My band, we do a lot of retro game stuff, two guitars, bass, and drums, kind of inspired by the bands, the seminal bands of the scene, like the Mini Bosses and the Advantage. And then also from Grand Rapids, we have Mail Order Monsters, and they're a chiptune group. They use Commodore 64s to produce all of their music, and they have a really cool visual aspect to their show too. So we're really happy to have them on board this year. We've been trying to get them for a couple years, and scheduling it hasn't worked out, but we finally got them this year, so that's exciting.
Now is the time.
Yes, exactly. We also have my parents' favorite music. From Swartz Creek, Michigan, from Flint, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
That's just outside of Flint. I just learned it was Swartz Creek when I made the post.
I've never heard of Swartz Creek.
Yes, yeah. So, and that's, I guess you call it chip hop, some rap and hip hop over video game tunes. We posted a really cool tune of my parents' favorite musics from Professor Layton this week. And I mean, if you can think of a video game that you like, any video game, there's a good chance that you can find a tune inspired by that game by my parents' favorite music.
Yeah, Steffo, or Stephanie, or Steffo for short, is pretty cool. I saw her at Shudokan last year, and she can rap.
Yeah, and she's been just really nice to work with the whole time, and really supportive of the event. Contacted me last year, said I want to do this next year. I was like, that'd be awesome. So yeah, my parents' favorite music. Then going a little further east to Detroit, we have the Super Guitar Bros joining us again. This will be their 3rd year doing Great Bit Live. And if you don't know, if you're a part of the VGM scene, the video game music scene, you know any of the bands, and you don't know who Super Guitar Bros are, then I don't know where you've been, because they've kind of exploded, and they've got a popular Twitch channel. They've got a YouTube channel with videos that are approaching 1 million views. They're huge. They're great guys too. Then we've got from Chicago, we've got Arc Impulse. They joined us at Great Bit Live 1, and we're happy to bring them back. Some really cool synth rock. They've got they actually have a guitar player. They have a keyboard player, Jer, who joined us last year at the end. We did a collaboration piece at the end of Great Bit Live 2, and Jer joined us for that. We did a piece from Gran Turismo. They've got a violin player, guitar, bass, drums. They're awesome. They're very, very good, and they're actually going to be they're going to be doing this cool thing at the end of the day where we have a Smash Brothers tournament that's going to be taking place here, and they're going to be providing live music on stage for the finals. So
no kidding.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. We're keeping all the sound effects on, but turning the music off, and they're going to provide the backdrop for music for that. And so it'll be a really cool end to that competition. It's going to be a really highly competitive Smash Bros tournament. So
like Bit Brigade did.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yep. So that's Arc Impulse. One of my favorite bands from recently on the scene is called Gimmick, and they're from Austin, Texas. They're coming all the way up for this, and they're awesome. They're so good. They're a couple members of formerly of Descendants of Erdrick, who's a pretty big band on the scene as well, and they do a great version of Bubble Bobble that just goes on, and it's awesome. If you're not dancing by the end of that, you don't have a soul, or it needs to be taken out and blown on and reinserted. But Gimmick is great. They do some Metal Storm, a lot of kind of in the same vein as like the Advantage as well. But they're great. So that's 6.
The final one, the one that I'm looking forward to.
Night of the Round from Indiana, and there's Heavy, and then there's Night of the Round, and they are awesome. They will melt your face and your skeleton and everything. It's super heavy and really good, and it's all Final Fantasy inspired music. Great guys too. They were really good to work with. They wanted to be a part of the event, and they're gonna make this place shake, so it'll be sweet.
Yeah, I have to be cheesy. They're bringing the metal, and I'm holding the goblets. You know, you have to give the horns or the goblets.
Yeah. They're going to be great. So that's the 7 groups we're bringing in this year, and I got through them all. I remembered them all on the spot. So.
Yay! Hooray for you.
I didn't sleep much last night. I've got 2 kids, age 3 and younger, and I think I got 2 hours of sleep last night.
Who's to blame for that? You, sir.
Yes.
But no, nonetheless, one of the things that I had noticed on the Kickstarter, one of the tiers was if you donated a certain amount of money, you could suggest a song for the band to play.
Yeah.
So would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, there were a couple people that chose that as an option. I think there might have been a few more, but you had to run it by the band first to get approval, because you didn't want to just say, I'm going to buy this tier and then demand that this band play a song that they don't want to play. Like, it had to be something that they would want to do. But there were a couple Kickstarter requests. I'm not going to spoil which one for Super Guitar Bros, but I know they had a Kickstarter request. It's an oldie but a goodie of theirs. I don't think they performed it in a few years, so that's the only hint I'll give on that.
I think I know who made that suggestion, but I won't spoil it.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to hear that one. And then Playing with Power had a Kickstarter request, and I'll save it for the show, but it's our first time. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, because we haven't done that before. It's our first time doing a non-video game music tune. It's from...
Just kidding.
It's from a really great cartoon movie.
Okay.
And I'll say no more, but it's going to stretch us musically in a good way, and it's an awesome piece of music. It's one I've wanted to cover for 15 years, ever since I started playing bass seriously. So.
Gem and the Holograms. Is it truly
Nope,
outrageous?
I'm not gonna go there. You're in the right era, but I'm not. That's all I'm gonna say.
Excellent. So. Most excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, when is this event taking place?
July 11th, and it'll be all day. It'll be from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. There's going to be something for everyone. It's family friendly too. There's going to be lots of video games to be able to be played for free. Same with all the tabletop games are able to be played for free.
Free.
Yeah, it's all free. There's a couple paid things when you get in if you want to take part in the Smash Brothers tournament and things like that. But again, 100% of those proceeds are going towards the charity. So it's not like we're making a penny off of this. It's if we're asking for any money, it's just to further the charity. But anyways, there'll be the vendor hall, lots to see in there. The concerts are going to be great, and they'll be going on starting early afternoon, going all the way through the rest of the night till 11 o'clock. So.
Okay. And if people wanted to find out more about this event, besides watching this interview, if they watch this interview, which they better, where can they go to online?
Well, a couple places. GR8BitLive.com. That's GR8BitLive.com. GR8BitLive.com. We have all of the information posted there. You can also go to our Facebook page. We've got a Twitter account, which I'm new to Twitter, so I don't use it as much as I probably should.
Same here.
And I'm still figuring out hashtags, but that's all right. But but there's a Twitter account. You don't really have to do that. So, but the Facebook page, and then we have an event page on Facebook as well. And if you're planning on going and this is your first time hearing about it, please indicate that you're going on there, because that's how we can estimate what to get in terms of shirts, because we're going to be selling shirts as well. Shirts, again, that they're going to be $10 a piece, and that goes straight towards the charity. There isn't a penny of profit being made off of any of it. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Nah, no problem. Folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene. Take it easy.